Okay, thank you so much once again for the opportunity here. And thanks for the introduction. I'm Siva Devaki from MassMailer. I'm one of the co-founders. Today, we're going to talk about the email deliverability best practices. And also, I'm going to walk into the demo of MassMailer as well. We'll take a look at some of the high-level features of MassMailer, as Tricia mentioned. And talking about the deliverability, so we spend a lot of time in strategizing our email campaigns. But at the same time, we focus less on how do we really be successful, other than building a great content, great target list, and also great layout. All of that we do that.
Siva, your mic is a bit bitty there. Hello?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let me try the computer audio just a moment here. Is it better now?
Yes, much better. Yep.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah. So talking about the deliverability, other than like spending time on the email layout and the target list and all that, what else we can do to make sure that emails really get delivered, right? And that's today's topic. So high level, I'm going to talk about the deliverability itself, reputation, and compliance. The meaning of deliverability is that you want to make sure that when you're sending out email, it's actually reaching to the inbox, not to the spam folder, right? And nowadays, Google has come up with 4 different main folders, promotions, and whatnot, forums and social, and then inbox, right? So now we have to be much more careful to make sure the emails get delivered to the inbox. And also the reputation is very important. These two go hand in hand. I want to make sure that your domain and IP is not blacklisted. And how do you do that? And the complaints, as Tricia mentioned, GDPR, CAN spam laws, or any other country laws that you may have where you're actually sending out emails. What do you really need to do, at least the basics, to follow the compliance rules? Yeah. Talking about deliverability, again, I listed out 4 different things here. One is a content. You got to make sure that your content is not spammy. And you got to go beyond that as well, which we'll take a look in a brief moment. And the list, meaning how good your list is, the target list, the recipient list. Many people change companies every 3 months, or every 3 months is going to be at least anywhere between 10 to 30%, the list may go bad. So you got to constantly clean your list. And the domain authentication, meaning like when you're sending out email from abc.com, you got to prove that you are coming from abc.com. It's not somebody spoofing your domain and sending out email on your behalf. How do you authenticate your domain? And how do you actually brand your links? That's important. And then if you're actually using any email service provider, you got to make sure that you get a dedicated IP address. Even though people may say, hey, rotating shared IP address is great, but that's not really going to help you in a long term, especially if you're a serious email sender. You would want to get a dedicated IP address. And also, you need to authenticate the dedicated IP address with your own domain. So these are the 4 top most important things when it comes to email deliverability. And there are more, but at least these are the 4 basic things. And reputation is very important, as I mentioned. You got to stay off blacklist, meaning like there are organizations that are actually monitoring what you're sending, who you're sending, how you're sending it. Is it spam or not spam? They're constantly monitoring and may blacklist you. There are 100 different organizations that are actually doing it. So whenever you find yourself blacklisted, you meaning the name. Sorry, am I coming in okay?
You're okay now. I'm going to have to stay here and keep this open.
Okay.
Go on, yeah?
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure that the domain and the IP address then are blacklisted. And if at all you get blacklisted, you got to make sure that you come out of it. There's a way you can request them, proving yourself being innocent and made a mistake, and you can come out of the blacklist. And also, it's very important that you honor the opt-outs. Whenever you send out email, somebody do not want to hear from you, you got to remove them from the list and make it easy for them to get removed from your list. Compliance, as I mentioned, it's very, very important nowadays. You got to make sure that you're sending out emails to the opt-in list. Even if you're purchasing the list, you got to make sure that you slowly warm up that list. But anytime we recommend users, it is always better to send emails to only opt-in list and make sure that unsubscribe provision is there. Somebody wants to opt out, and you got to have the signature line in all your emails. So that's very important. Your name, address, company information, all that. And the email from should be authenticated, which is the same thing as a domain authentication. Talking about MassMailer itself, what is MassMailer? It's a native Salesforce app through which you can actually send out mass email or a single email or email alerts to any standard or a custom object. You can also attach files. That feature is available now. And we do have some email deliverability tools that you can leverage to keep your email reputation intact. And how do we help nonprofits? It's many ways. It could be fundraising. You may need to have renewal notices or reminders, maybe donor communication, regular newsletters, even announcements, and the community engagement. Maybe workflow email alerts and tracking of outreach campaigns that you may have. And of course, managing the email reputation is core of the product. And the advantage is it's a native, so it's easy to use and scalable. We capture all the statistics, such as opens and clicks and spam reports and unsubscribes, bounces and all of that. And we do support the opt-outs. If you wanted email preferences, meaning certain groups, you can create those groups and then have the email preferences as well. You can do drip campaigns and the file attachments. A few of the customers I've listed, I know I didn't list the nonprofits, perhaps maybe next time, but we got a lot of nonprofits using our product. We got around close to 200 companies using MassMailer. In the demo, I'll go through the email deliverability tools that we have, and also we will take a look at MassMailer itself. Yeah. Okay. Any questions before I get into the demo?
Anything? No, we're all good to go.
Okay, cool. So I brought up a report here. Again, this report can be obtained by one of the tools that we have that's called Email Monitor. So you can invoke Email Monitor by going to MassMailer Email Monitor tab. That's within MassMailer itself. And then you just have to enter certain information, the sender information and the template information, all that. So for an example, you enter sender name and the sender email address and what industry do you belong to. Let's say it's a nonprofit. And then what could be your approximate list size and where are you actually sending this email to? Let's say you're sending into Ireland. You can also select the region that feature will come. So if you are sending out to the entire Europe or worldwide, you can also select that option too. And the template itself, I may not have real good templates here. I would just pick something random, nothing fancy as such. And then what language. And once you have that, you just have to click on this button called Test Email Deliverability. And then this actually sends out a request to the backend engine, and which is going to actually give a report, something like this. And I'm actually in a demo environment. Maybe you got some error, but that's please pardon for that. But I just want to show you how do you invoke that. Just start to upgrade this instance before this meeting, and I really didn't get time to test it end to end. So the report looks like this, in which you actually find out what's your deliverability profile, meaning the score. 82.32% that's deliverable, and rest of it is non-deliverable. And it's going to give you what kind of an issues are there. The content issues are infrastructure issues, right? If you drill down, it's got four different sections: vocabulary, copywriting, coding, layout, and quality. So it's highlighting some words here, and it's saying, hey, these are the recommended words, and these are the discouraged words. So you can actually analyze the content of your email itself, and anywhere you find this question mark, you can actually click on that link and find out the specifics. You can also go to the entire guide and look at every single section. If it's related to content, just click on that. It is going to bring up the items related to content, and it also gives you information on how you should really write the email. So this comes in handy. We highlight any problem with the phrases, and if there's any problem with the coding and layout, and also the links that you may have. You may have embedded certain links, and if there's any problem with the link, we highlight that. And then infrastructure, we look at your IP, and the domain, make sure it's not blacklisted. If it is blacklisted, it actually shows up right here. So the IP address that you're sending. And also we look at your SPF DKM. So this is where you're actually gonna authenticate your domain. If you look at this, uh, you whatever the domain that you're sending, you're authenticating through the SPF record. This need to be entered in your DNS settings. Same with the DKM, we'll provide you a DKM. You need to make sure that it is passing, and also similar the DMARC. We will provide you provision a DMARC record. You will have to set it up and make sure it's all been authenticated. So this is the infrastructure that you have to make sure you set it up. And then compliance. If you're using any links or any kind of embedded content, we look at the cookies. And if there are any problems, we highlight those warnings as well. And then finally, most important, the actual email that you're sending, we take a look at and see how is it rendering in various clients. We look at the email clients on the desktop, web, and also the mobile. So, for example, Outlook, how does it look on Outlook? Make sure that you go through this at least for the popular email clients. You can add more to this list. So it also shows the mobile as well. You can go through this and make sure it's all looking good. And we got other web clients that you can request. You just have to click on this request button. It shows up after some time. We render it real time. That way you know the layout, how it's looking. And also we have some desktop in the mobile. So you just have to make sure that it's all looking good using this tool. So this is a predominantly the best tool that I can think of when it comes to email monitoring, the domain monitoring, IP monitoring, content issues, the spamminess, and whatnot. Right? We do have an email verification tool. Fortunately, I can't demo it right now, but through which you can bulk verify email addresses. It's not just the syntax. We go beyond that. We look at whether the email is personal email or a company email. Is it a short-lived email? Some people create a short-lived email just for temporary purposes. And is it a spam trap or is it a spammer? So all these things we analyze and then give you the actual the score and also the status for the verification, such as valid, invalid, whether it is accept all, or maybe do not email. So all those status values will come in. Okay? So that's another tool that we have. And looking at the mass mailer itself, so the way you would The way you would use MassMailer is basically there are three tabs, main tabs that you see here: the Outreach Wizard, the List Views, and also the Template Builder. So the list views is basically for creating a target list. The list view screen itself is quite advanced, in which you can give a name. Let's say we call this is October 6th. Let's say it is lead view, and you're selecting the object, the lead, and then you select a filter. I'm gonna give a very like a simple filter here, where you can go very advanced criteria here, multiple fields, add a filter type. You can go to the parent and also do that. And you have a provision to also to add the filters on the child object as well. And you can select what fields you want to display. Let's see if I have a lead with this email address. So I do have one. And then you save it and then you close it. So that's how you create your list view. Okay. Once you got the list view created, you can go create your own templates using MassMailer Template Builder. Again, Template Builder is native to Salesforce. Here, you would have an option to create a base template or the email template itself. The concept behind the base template is, let's say you want to create a header and a footer, and then you basically want to keep that header and footer always the same. You just have to create that. Like an example, select this, create new template, and say my header and footer, and you can have the actual content itself, the rows, and the settings. There are three tabs available. Content being text, image, button, divider, social, HTML, video, and the rows could be one row, it could be two rows, or it could be three rows or four rows, various sizes. Let's say we pick up a few rows here, and this is your template, and let's say this is your header image and a divider, and I got another divider here, and I got some social links here. This may be my text content, and there's a button right there. Maybe I have a video, an example, right? And then you say, hey, I want to use my logo as an image, and then you have social icons and rest of it. Let's keep this the way it is, and then save it, and then save to Salesforce, and that becomes your template, the base template. So once you have that base template created, all you need to do is go back to template builder, and then you go to the actual email template, manage email template tab, and then you say, hey, I want to store this into one of my folders. You want to create a new template. You can opt to choose the header and footer that you created, or you can also say, hey, I don't want to use any base template. I just want to create from scratch. That's an option. Okay. Let's say we call this as October 16 template one, and then let's say October 16 newsletter. And then here you can actually just drag and drop and create your own content. It could be something like this, dear, and you want to um, add a merge field. How do you do that? So you go to this drop down here, select a field, and then you get this merge field, copy that, and paste it here. Okay, and you have various formatting options. You see this right here. You can change the color. You can have a link. Also, it's possible. All of those things for the text. And for the button, again, um, you can change this text. And you can also have a link type if you want this to go to your website, or maybe you want this to like send an email. You can select a send email and just enter the email address, subject, in the body. And you can have the width changed as well, like this. And you can also change the color. And the other alignments, you can do that. Line height, border radius. There are many options that are available, which is quite handy. Same thing with the video. If you have a video that's hosted on YouTube, or maybe it is on Vimeo, or maybe it's hosted on your own website. It doesn't matter. You can just copy paste. If it's on your website, then there's a tiny HTML that you need to embed. We can help you with that. We have an article, and then other options are available. If you needed to change the padding, you can do that. A few things like that. And the social, it's very easy. All you need to do is just come here. If you want to change the color, fine. And then maybe delete some of it and add a brand new one. It's okay. And then just add whatever the URL is, maybe, right? So that's how you create your actual template itself. And then you save the work in the editor, and then click here, save to Salesforce. That's actually going to save this email template into Salesforce. We store the templates into standard email template folders in Salesforce. And then now you go to the outreach wizard and then you look at it. All you're doing is basically sending out email. Give a name if needed, change the name if needed, and then target audience, select who you want to send emails to. So for an example, let's pick up the lead view that we created, and then the email template that we already used. You just have to go select that specific email template from here. And then if you needed to add anything, merge fields, you can select it from here. You can also do A/B testing. That's possible to do it. You can also add the preview text. That's possible. And once you load up the email template, if you need to make any modifications here, you can actually do that. It's not a problem. Um, welcome email dated text, and then just save it. You can actually change the layout also. It's no problem. You can delete, remove, do whatever you wanted to do, and then just keep going. You can attach any files. It's various options. You can attach from the computer or attach from Salesforce, content attachment to document. And you can send email as logged in user on behalf of someone, or maybe a global sender that you have created in Salesforce, MassMailer. You can do CC, compliance purposes, you can do BCC, and then you can schedule later, or you can actually send it now. You can select any email group, such as newsletter, promotion, donor communications. If you don't want, that's okay. If an advanced user, you needed to have multiple IP addresses, you can create IP pools and select the IP pool. You can suppress the unsubscribe link, so sometimes if you don't want this. And once you have everything, you can just review and send out emails.
Hello.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we have you. It's all good. It's just a temporary glitch.
Okay. And here you can preview the email, and then you can send a test email. You can select the merge field record and send now. Everything is good. Click finish. And we track all of this in an object called outreaches. We store all the statistics information like delivered, deferred, opens, clicks, bounces. We capture the real-time stats as well. And we also store the status values on the leader contact object and the activity history itself. And the email status values come in right here. It'll have all the values such as opened and delivered and processed, all those information. And you can also take a look at the specific status value, and you would know which campaign it's related to, what is the status, email subject, when did it happen. If it is a click, we capture the click URL. If it is bouncing, we also capture the reason. All that information is captured right here. Okay. We do support Salesforce campaign. I don't think that I have enough time to really go through that, but we do
About
support.
about 5 minutes, Eva, just to leave time for questions.
Right. Yeah. Um, yeah, we do support Salesforce campaign. We do support Salesforce list views as well. There are many more advanced features which I've not really demoed to you, like email alert through process builder and stuff like that. So this is the core product of MassMailer. So having said that, I will open up for Q&A. Any questions that you may have?
Okay, so is there any questions? I have a couple. Well, yeah, sorry, Louison. I'm going to ask people to come up near, or one, two. Can you hear through that microphone?
Yes.
Siva, can you hear?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Do you want to? Yeah, just yeah. Maybe while thanks for that, Siva. Just while Lewison's coming up, can I ask a question about cost? So what is there an offer profit rate for this? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we do have 10% non-profit discount, but I'm happy to give another 10% if anybody is coming from any group. We also have the annual billing. That's another 10% if you go with the annual billing.
Okay. And it's on volume, is it?
So there are two components mainly. One is the number of users using MassMailer. Let's say you have 10 users from Salesforce. You may want to have only one user from MassMailer. That's okay. Just per user per month. Plus the actual number of emails you're sending. We do have the shared IP address plan as well. That's actually much less than the dedicated IP address. So if you wanted to know the full pricing, you can go to our website and take a look at our pricing page. I'll bring it up real quick. So how many users you want, and then how many emails you're going to send. Shared IP address starts with 10,000, $29.99. And then professional, which is with a dedicated IP address, $149.99. And also we have email monitor add-on is included. We have the basic support included. Here also the basic support is included.
Okay. There's another question then. Yeah.
Lisa, can you hear us? Yeah. Just if an org has a lot of templates already created in Salesforce, can they be imported into MassMailer?
Yeah. As long as they are text-based or HTML-based, meaning custom HTML-based, not the Salesforce header and footer. As long as you got a custom HTML or the pure text-based, we support it.
Yeah. Yeah, we've pulled in regular email templates into it. Yeah. Is there any other questions? No, there's silence here, Siva.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, one more question. Hold on, Siva.
Sure.
Thanks.
Thanks. Hi. Great looking product. Is there a way to use style sheets so as to create so that it's not left up to the user to change colors and fonts and stuff like that? Thank you.
Yeah. So you create your own HTML using style sheet. That's fine. Just import it back into Salesforce and use the product. Yeah.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
Any more questions? No, that's good. Listen, thanks a million, Siva, for joining us anyhow. And I'm glad this technology worked, or it was going to be a bit of a red face for me. I'm sure people will be in touch with you if they want to get more information anyhow. I'll send out your email address is there, but I'll send it out after the user group as well.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you so much
Thank
once
you.
for the opportunity. Thank you all. Take care.
Bye. Bye.